Y'all say it one more time. I am determined. Yes. Come on, if you got to get it out, get it out. Come on, tell somebody, I am determined. I went through too much not to be determined. Tell somebody, I am determined. Hold on, man. Let me share this with y'all. Last year, 3 months, a year and 3 months ago last year, I was going through cancer and I didn't tell anybody. And I didn't know I had cancer at first. What was going on was I would finish playing at church and I would sit at the organ and I would be so tired that I couldn't move. I would actually have to get somebody to come and help me get off the organ. And I actually had the cancer for so long that it actually progressed, and I didn't know until I went and had a physical. So the week before my birthday, I started vomiting blood. And then I started having seizures. And the third seizure I had, I coded. I died for about 15 minutes and they were trying to resuscitate me. So when I say I'm determined, I don't know what y'all went through, but when I say I'm determined, God did too much for me not to sit there and say I'm not determined. I'm determined. Yes. So turn around and tell somebody one more time, I am determined. Come on, I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds. If you're determined, come on. That's it. I'm determined. That's it. I'm determined. I should have been dead, but I'm determined. They should have foreclosed my house, but I'm determined. I should have been in jail, but I'm determined. The car wreck should have killed me, but I'm determined. I am determined. I don't know what you've been through, and you don't know what I've been through. But if you hold my hand, and I hold your hand, I'm going to help you praise through some stuff. So I'm going to give you 10 more seconds to get it out your system and tell them I'm determined to help you get through what you're going through. And you're going to be determined to help me get through what I'm going through. So can we do it one more time? Come on, 1, 2, 3, come on. Come on, pull them out their mess. Now right here, lift up your hands and give God a shout. Yes. Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can take your seat if you can. Hallelujah. God has been good to us. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. We don't ever want anybody to think that this is out of emotion, because regardless of what people think, some of us, it does take all of this. And sometimes it takes more than that. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still wouldn't be enough. If I had all the energy in the world, it still wouldn't be enough. So sometimes it takes just a little bit more than what we just needed. So don't let people stifle what's ready to come out. There are people that would love to do what we just did and can't. Sometimes you got to praise for them when we don't feel like it. I got to stop and give honor to God for everything he's done in my life. I thank God for your pastor and your first lady. Can we give God praise for them? I'm very grateful for them, and I'm basically another one of their children. You heard them when I was at Hampton. I was at their house almost every weekend because I got tired of staying in my dorm. Was almost like a prison at HU. Yeah, my air conditioning didn't work in my dorm, all that type of stuff. So I called them. They gave me a room. So they became my godparents while I was at Hampton, and they still are. If I need something, I can call them, and they help me whenever I need it. So I'm very grateful for them. And then all 13 of my mamas sitting over here in the corner over here. Then Deacon Smith and Deacon Mason, I'm very grateful for them. When I was at Hampton, I didn't have my car. They whenever I needed something, they came and they picked me up. They took me to Walmart. They took me to North Carolina when I needed to go. So I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful to my pastor and my superintendent, Dr. Thurgood, and the Advent Church, where I serve on the pastoral staff. I'm grateful for my bishop. Y'all know him, Bishop Cohen. He is basically my grandfather. And I'm grateful for my pastor back home. He's been here before, Dr. Moore. It's just good to be here. I said it's good to be here. I almost wasn't here. So it's good to be here. So we want to go ahead and get into the word. If I didn't mention your name, it wasn't on purpose. So just know I'm glad to see you. I hope you're glad to see me. If you have your Bible, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 37. If you don't have your Bible, get with somebody that has one. Genesis chapter 37. I'm reading from the King James Version. Let's start at verse 1. When you have it, say amen. If you need a second, say wait. All right. I'm grateful that my god brother came and helped me on the organ. Both of us have about 3 or 4 services to go to today, so pray for us. I think by the time we'll be through, it'll be around 8 or 9 o'clock. So, Genesis chapter 37, verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all of his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto him, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves stood around about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. Verse 8. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. Concentrate on verse 11. And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. Look at your neighbor and say, Neighbor, I have envied dreams. Now you may take your seat. God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for your blessings and for all you've done for us. Now we're at the preaching and the teaching moment of this service, God. Pour out your spirit. Remove me from this podium and let them see only you and your glory. Now let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Envy dreams. On September 20th, 1984, NBC debuted a new show featuring something that was culturally exciting and taboo to those of us used to watching the usual family sitcom. It featured an upper-class African-American family that lives in Brooklyn Heights, New York. The father, a prominent OBGYN, and the mother, a prominent New York attorney, along with their 5 children, 4 girls and 1 boy. And obviously by now you know I'm talking about The Cosby Show. And by the time I was of age to understand the technology that was TV, the show had already been off the air for some time, but it was still being aired in syndication across various stations. And if you were anything like me, I was excited when I had those rare Saturday mornings of nothing to do, when my mom didn't have me going to a choir rehearsal, when I didn't have to travel, when my dad didn't come in my room at 7 o'clock in the morning and tell me I had to cut this grass, when I wasn't playing for somebody's funeral. I had a complex childhood. I was doing more than I probably should have been doing for my age. I was excited to go downstairs and cut the TV on and realize that The Cosby Show had a marathon on. And I know I'm not the only one. There was something different about The Cosby Show, especially for us. I would cut the TV on and realize the marathon was on, and not only was I locked in, but my whole family seemed to be captured by this successful, beautiful black family that continued to capture their airways with the ideas that a black family could keep the faith, be successful, and still be a family. It was normal to see a thriving family on television and not compare with MTV being 16 and pregnant. BET didn't have a showcase our ignorance for 2 hours and call it an award show and laced with profanity and vulgarity. VH1 didn't demean black women by calling them housewives, having to fight over a man that wasn't worth the clothes he was wearing. No, surprisingly, television showed us that black lives mattered. And no matter how society thinks we look to them, we didn't have to fall into the stigma of becoming a product of the judicial system or another dead body on its way to the morgue. But even with this main idea of a strong black family dominating the television screen, the show didn't fail to show us the various struggles families go through. One of my favorite relationships to take notice of was between the father Cliff and the son Theo. There was a special bond between the two of them. Unlike the rest of the children, Cliff puts emphasis on his relationship every chance he had interacting with his only son. He discusses his dreams with Theo and works with Theo on his future aspirations. And if you pay attention to the other siblings, they become, in some instances, annoyed and quite jealous of these unique relationships that they share between each other. It's not that obvious in the show. You kind of have to read in between the lines. There are fights in between Theo and the daughters. Every time Cliff spends all this time with Theo, every time they go through their little harebrained schemes, and Cliff has to find a way to pull Theo out of his funk, they always seem to get a little more jealous at Theo. The bond reminds me of Joseph and Jacob in the Bible and the relationship they carried. Jacob being 91 when Joseph was born, he was enamored with Joseph, and because of it, his brothers hated him. The Bible says Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other children because he was the son of his old age. All right. So Joseph inherited some traits from Israel that his brothers will never get from Jacob. So understand, Joseph got Israel, but his brothers got Jacob. Understand, that's the same person, but two different people. Joseph got Israel, but his brothers got Jacob. Joseph inherited the integrity of Israel, while his brothers inherited the deceitfulness of Jacob. Joseph inherited the ability to freely love from Israel, and his brothers inherited the trait to hate Jacob. Yes, deliverance makes a difference, even in the future of your own bloodline. Even so, Joseph inherited one thing from Jacob that even his brothers didn't inherit, and that was the ability to dream. Joseph discovers he has a prophetic ability to dream, and in his dream, various symbols are used to represent his family, showing that they'll one day submit to him in obedience. He has dreams of this manner twice and tells his family. Now, obviously, if I were you, or if you were I, and we were the youngest in our family, and God gave us these visions, and we decided to go tell our family around the time I'm 30, I'm going to be the head of the family. They're not going to receive it in the same way we received it. There's going to be some discord. And according to our culture, our mom and daddy normally tell us we need to get somewhere to sit down and be quiet. The difference between Joseph and his brothers, Joseph being born to Israel, he was born out of pure innocence. So he knows no better than to tell it like it is. So he's dealing with innocence and honesty as opposed to the deceitfulness and the lies and the violence that was instilled in the sons of Jacob. Traits that we try to teach our young men to avoid so that when they are confronted by rogue officers, when they're confronted by rogue authority figures, they can respond appropriately. We can continually teach the traits on how to be a respected man, be a respected woman, give them a chance to grow into this reality and live the dreams. Because the more I live, I realize we're starting to go backwards in society instead of going forward. I shouldn't be, as a 24-year-old black man, look on the news and realize that somebody just a little bit older than me was shot 7 times by an officer, and that officer was able to get acquitted. There's a problem. We shouldn't have to keep repeating over and over again, just keep your hands on the wheel and do what the officer says. And even after we do what the officer says, we still get shot. There's a problem.
Take your time. Take your time.
And even after we do what we say, we're still trying to figure out, well, how come after we do what we say, our dreams are still in jeopardy? We need to have the chance to grow into our dreams because, see, I love dreams. I love the idea of dreams and our aspirations, and being able to see yourself in future situations as a blessed man or as a blessed woman of God. See, all of this down here should have the ability to go past the age of 25. I work for one of the Baptist associations in North Carolina every year, and as a part from working from the music department, I also teach one of the teenage classes. And when I teach the teen classes, I always gravitate towards young men because whether they like to admit it or not, society gives us a bad rap. You can look at it however you want to, but just because I'm 6'3" and I'm black, I can wear a collar all day and I can wear a suit all day. I can walk down the street in this robe if I want to. But because I'm 6'3" and I'm African American, I automatically got a shadow cast over my head. I know it's a little tight right now, but if y'all just kind of stay with me for a little bit. But I work with these teenagers, and when I work with them, when I first started working with them, I told them, I'm here with you from the beginning of your high school career, and I'm probably going to stay with you all the way through your college career. So every year you see me, I want a report of how you're doing. Because I told them, I said, once you graduate high school, it's going to be different than grade school. Whether you're going to the military, the workforce, or college, it's not going to be like grade school. It's not regimented. You're on your own. So you need to have a plan. So there are these three boys that end up gravitating towards me a little bit more than everybody else. And all three of them, the names just happen to be Malik. I don't even know how that happened. The three of the names just happen to be Malik. And their minds are everywhere, but they're brilliant boys. So I asked them that same question. I told them every year, just come to me. So last year, one in particular, he came to me and he said, Matt, I got an answer to your question now. I said, okay, well, what is it? He said, I figured it out. I want to be a bus driver. I said, okay. I don't want to kill your dream, so I want you to explain to me what your dream is, because bus driver ain't the first thing that pop in my head for anybody. So explain your dream to me. He said, okay, I figured it out like this. I'm going to go get my bus license, and I'm going to drive the city bus for a while, get a small loan, and get an apartment. And while I'm working with my bus license, I'm going to save up enough money to go to trade school. And when I go to trade school, I'm going to get my mechanic's license to work on the bus that I'm driving. And when I save up enough money, I'm going to buy enough money to have my own small garage. And after I have my own small garage, I'm going to start hiring people under me. And when I get enough people under me, then I can open up more than one garage. And after I get the ball rolling, I'm going to have enough people under me to have more than one garage. And by the time I turn 30, I figured I'm going to be rich enough to be a millionaire to where I don't have to fix the bus myself. I can delegate people under me. I said, okay. So where did you get this from? You told me last year that I needed to have a plan. And I figured plans got to start from the bottom, so I figured why not start from the bottom? See, we like to tell people to have a plan according to how we started. And the problem with that is, when we tell people to have a plan according to our plan, we kill their dream. We can't kill somebody else's dream, because once you kill their dream, you kill them spiritually. And the problem with killing people spiritually is you kill them spiritually, but you didn't kill them physically. There's nothing worse than to kill somebody at the age of 15 spiritually and they got 75 more years of life physically. And so he told me, he said, you want to know what else gave me that idea? I said, what? He said, there's a song by Drake. It says, started from the bottom, now I'm here. See, okay, this generation can relate to it, but the older generation, if you can't relate to it, Job 8:7 says, though by beginning, okay, y'all don't read the Bible? Though my beginning was small, I'm paraphrasing, thy end will greatly increase. So he had the idea. He said, I'm going to start off small, but with the help of God, by the time I get to my certain age, I can walk on out of here with the victory that God intended for me to have. See, there's nothing wrong with dreaming. We only associate our problems with our dreams. So many of us have dreams that never left our minds and turned them into reality because we allowed the enemy to come in various forms and stifle our creativity. If you see the dream in someone, encourage it, because if we want to be completely honest, the real problem I have is that every time I dream, I end up being blessed. Can I say that one more time? Every time I dream, I end up being blessed. And the problem I have with being blessed is that when God shows others how he's blessing and elevating me through my dreams, then they become upset and can't handle the blessing in my life. See, you can't see, everybody can't handle you being blessed. They get jealous. And that's the problem with the church. The reason why the church can't grow is because they get so jealous with how God is blessing you, they don't know how to handle it. They can't celebrate you. They'd rather tear you down and watch everybody go into the pit. See, your dreams are one of your most valuable assets and will call for celebration from time to time. And when celebration comes, you need a covenant partner to celebrate with you. So you need a covenant partner, not a friend. I'm going to say it again. You need a covenant partner, not a friend. Because, see, people like this idea of being a friend. They like the word friend. They like it like a title in the church. Everybody wants the title. They don't want the work. Mm-hmm. See, they can be your friend as long as they ain't got to help you when you feel like you're about to commit suicide. They can be your friend as long as they can help you when you need money. They don't want to help you when you need money and they feel like you're not going to pay you back. They can be your friend when you don't need any type of assistance. As long as they can be your friend and smile and stand along your side and everything. But as soon as you need help, see, the difference between a friend and a covenant partner intercedes for you. Because, see, a covenant partner is the type of person is that when you don't see them for a couple of weeks, they can sit there and call you out the blue and say, I know I haven't talked to you in a while, but God dropped me in your mind and said, I need to pray for you. God dropped me in the mind and said, I just need to send this little money to you towards your way or something. Something told me wasn't right in my spirit about you, so I'm praying for you. Something is wrong, and I need to pray for you. You got to be careful who you choose as your covenant partners. Friends come and go. People come and go. Your covenant partners stick with you spiritually. I've learned that for most people, the word friend doesn't mean anything. And for them, it never will. It's a title. I always end up thinking about Jonathan and David in 1 Samuel around chapter 18. It says, Jonathan loved David as himself and interceded for David and celebrated David when time permitted. Jonathan and David were fighting for the same position. And when the time came, Jonathan realized he's not going to get the same position as David. So he realized, I'm going to submit to David just so I can keep my love for my friend the same. You got to have a friend just like that. See, you and your friends aren't going to have the same aspirations, and you and your friends aren't going to reach the same milestones as each other. So what's going to happen is you got to understand that if you're really my friend, I need you to be in covenant with me. So that if I fall behind, you can still support me even when you go up further. See, it's a phrase that I've seen going around that says move in silence. I don't like that. I'll tell you why. Everybody says move in silence because they say you don't want the enemy to know your moves, know your plan, and everything else. Let the enemy know. Let the enemy know. You're going to get attacked by the enemy regardless. Let the enemy know your plan. Because what happens is when you hide your plans and hide your success and everything, nobody knows but you. There's no reason for you to hide your plans when God has it set up for you in the first place. Let them know what's going on. The Bible says we're overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Testify about what God is doing for you. Let them know what's going on. You ain't got to move in silence. When God does something for you, go tell that person right them to your face. I know you said you didn't want me to succeed, but guess what? I got into that school. I know you didn't want me to get that job, but guess what? I'm here. I know you didn't want me to get that promotion, but guess what? I got it. I know you didn't want me to get that car, but guess what? I'm here. I know you didn't want me to retire. I'm almost through. I'm not trying to stay up here that long. And see, when you let them know, that's when your dreams start to come to fruition. Because when you hide your dreams get muddied. And when your dreams get muddied, then your dreams get lost. And when you lose your dreams, then you lose it on your own accord. Don't lose your dreams by your own accord. If you're going to let your dreams get lost, let somebody else do it. Don't let it be lost on your own accord. All of our goals and plans and dreams at some point are inspired by a dream. Even the goals we toss to a side, it was dreamt about. Joseph would have never been granted access to his dreams had Jacob not fought for his deliverance. Y'all remember back in the 32nd chapter of Genesis, he was fighting with the angel of the Lord, and he said, I'm not going to let you go until. Say it again. I'm not going to let you go until. And because he followed the angel so long, the angel said, because of your tenacity, because of your spirit, then I'm going to change your name. Deliverance is free, but access to your deliverance can require a fight. And fights produce scars. And what should make you happy at this moment is that scars are evidence of my deliverance. Is there anybody in here glad about the scars produced from your deliverance? You ought to turn around and tell somebody, neighbor, I got evidence of my deliverance from my scars. See, it's my scars that tell somebody I've been through something. But because I'm still here, the scars is just a beauty mark of what happened to me. And because I got a beauty mark of what happened to me, I can keep going. So you have to tell somebody, neighbor, it's just a beauty mark. Come on, tell somebody, it's just a beauty mark. So turn around and tell somebody, neighbor, I got evidence of my deliverance. Come on, you have to tell somebody, I got evidence that God is a way maker. I got evidence that God brought me out of my situation. I got evidence that no matter what I went through, I'll still make it out of this. You can push me over. You can talk about me. You can run my name in the dirt. But my scar says I'll make it through this. Talk about me. Run my name through the dirt. But neighbor, my scar says